When did I see myself as an artist? I don't think I ever thought of myself as an artist, but from as far back as I can remember, I used it as a way to express what I was feeling. I was raised on a farm, all alone without any children around, and that was what I did. It was like I talked by making marks on the ground even then, and playing in oil that used to form like water so that you could take a stick and you could make all these images, right? So I was always making and whatever as a way to communicate. And later in life I continued through that because I had to raise 3 children and work, so I never studied as an artist. I never took any classes. The first class that I took was from Pat Martin Bates, the printmaking class, and loved it. And through her encouragement and watching her career as an international artist, right, I'd say she was my muse, right? And I started continuing more and more and more. And then in the last, I retired, and then I taught for years also, right? I always continued teaching Mandela painting or whatever all through the time, even though I was an environmental educator for the government, right? I just kept on doing that. And in the last year is when I really sort of started taking it seriously and started using the word artist and started painting. Before I did a lot of watercolors, right? And I would do shows in restaurants and sell to, privately to people and did monoprints. But this is the beginning of my large canvases that I love. Why is color important to me in my painting? Color is important to me in my painting because, first of all, color in different societies is symbolic. Where in one country, red will be the color of purity, and in another one will be white. Black will be the color of power in one culture, and in another culture it will be death and dreariness or whatever, right? So, that's part of the whole thing of color, which you can use to tell the message that you want to stay in the painting. And I kind of know a bit about that because I have done some studying about the symbolic reasons, cultural things around color. But also there's an incredible amount of power that is intuitive in color for each individual. And if you ask somebody why they really dislike brown, for example, and you might ask them, what kind of experiences were you in around brown, right? Sometimes you'll find out they had a very bad experience around brown. So when you see that kind of power around it, for me, what I do when I look at my palette, and I have a very limited palette when I'm painting generally, I let my hand draw myself to whatever color it is. And I put it on the canvas. And I, myself, need a lot more experience in that because I have just been starting with color in my large acrylic paintings, right? And I'm drawn to the light and the dark. And I like the dark in the background because, again, back to that kind of mysticism to let people kind of imagine what's in the background. I like that. And then the individual, I like them to be bright. I like the dark spots that are in my paintings on the individual person also have significant meaning to me. And as you get older, there's little parts of you that have got banged up or hurt or whatever, right? And those are in my paintings. And it's almost like I use those to pay attention to those parts of my body and then maybe get rid of them, put it on the canvas, forget about it, it's gone. So that is my sort of journey around kind of color, needing a lot. I need to learn a lot more. I love gold, and that may also come from my love of Klimt's paintings, right? It's just, but then I don't want to be garish, so I don't use, gold leaf or anything like that. It might work in Peru, but I don't think it'd work here. And yeah, so in my large canvases, you'll see me trying to make that kind of gold by using cadmium and white and other colors. So I love playing in color and I'd love to study it more so I can use it more. Why is music part of my creative juices when I'm painting? Well, music has a real strong effect on me. I can remember songs from way, way back where something happened and they still hit me here, right? I'll either dance to them or want to cry to it or whatever. So I know that when I'm doing a painting and I have something in my mind that I'm trying to express, whether it is sadness or happiness or pain or contentment or whatever, I can connect that to some of my music and I put that on. So that's one reason, is because it triggers my emotions so I can paint with the emotion. But the other reason is I stop thinking. I start singing to the music and I stop analyzing. I start sort of going like, should I put that line there, right? It doesn't look like that there. That's not working. It's, I stop the analytical thing because then I'm kind of going to the music. And when I'm standing, I mean, sometimes I'm dancing. Sometimes some bad things. Because then I got to go back. Whoa, just a minute. The paintbrush wasn't my partner. I shouldn't have been dancing. But it really, really works. And if I have total quiet, then I get so into the painting, almost like the Mandela painting, where all you're thinking of is the tip of the brush here and what's on my watercolor paper when I'm painting, right? That's all that's there. And so you're almost meditating into it, right? And the painting is a form of meditating, but on the large canvases, I have to do it a little bit differently. I've got to be a little bit more present to the canvas. With the etchings that I do and the monoprints that I do, they're very, very fast. They're done like that, right? Because what I do is I look at the paper, I pick up my tool, whatever it is, my hands. I use my hands a lot in everything. Hope I don't die from the chemicals that I put in my body. But it'll be like, okay, and my hand, I'll wait for a minute and it'll touch and then it'll go. So my, you'll see from my etchings over there, they're all very often out of proportion. Sometimes I will be thinking just of the body and then, oops, I've lost the paper, the head, there's no head. Or, because I just, start in, right? And play almost. It's almost like play, right? So I need music to do it. I don't know how this is going to work when I start working outside, because that's another challenge that I really want to do, is I want to be able to do some outside painting, so that I love to travel, and then I would love to do paintings outdoors of what I see and what I experience. And so that will be a new adventure for the next few years. Another thing that I want to do is I want to learn to put together different shapes and colors in a way that would express emotion. I guess I'm talking about abstract, right? But I think you've really got to be a fantastic painter to be able to do abstract that isn't intellectual, that you look at and you go, oh, I've got a feeling from that. I mean, that's just my take. I don't know. I've never studied any of that, right? But it is something that I want to explore. Maybe I'll throw in my gold there somewhere. So, yeah, I do need the music.